This next testimony is another one that came out of Europe. We are engaged by a very successful entrepreneur that has done stuff in tech, that had built a company to a $500 million exit. She had pivoted, wanted to go into a different area and wanted help. And she's never raised money before. So she got involved with Purim Ventures. Check out what she had to say about her experience and where she's sitting now. All right, great, Tarishi. Fantastic to finally have this moment with you. It's been an absolute pleasure working with you, getting to know you, seeing how you've been maneuvering, and building this business, Captron. So it's been very, very, very exciting for me, and a privilege to work with you and your partner Robert. So thank you for making time for me today. I'd like to start off, if you can, tell me more about your background, how you got into business, and how you got into doing what you're doing now. I'd love to hear more about that.
Absolutely. Happy. First of all, thank you so much for having me here, and happy to take you through my journey where I started. I'm Tarishi. I'm coming from India. I think it's important to say that I come from a family who have spent their entire lives in the care business. So that's where I'm coming from. And in India, when I was doing my bachelor's, right after that, I became the first brand ambassador for Dell Technologies in India, which was huge. And everybody thought that I'm going to continue working in Dell, and it was a huge achievement, and it was great. I was very young back then, and but there was always a fire inside of me, Greg, to do something on a much larger scale and to do something of my own. And that really helped me to break that comfort zone. Despite I was doing very well on a national level with a great company, I decided to come to Germany and work with Allianz, which is one of the big insurance companies, and I worked with T-Systems, which is again one of the top 30 Fortune companies, helped them to scale their business to countries like India, Brazil, Russia, and Hungary. And then afterwards, I was headhunted to join a German-based company, which was more in the digital platform. So you can say there was a dating section, there was a video streaming section. And so they were locally based in Germany, but it had a lot of potential. The reason why they wanted me to join as a minority shareholder was to really scale the business, because that was my expertise. And I helped them to scale the business to 9 other countries. Luckily, we did it all before the COVID. And when COVID happened, everybody was wanting to connect, but we were in the home, and people were using the app to connect, find their date, find just some friends, or video streams. People were trying to connect, and our business was doing better than before. So we were approached by a big German company to acquire our business. All of this was happening in the middle of COVID. So in Q3, Q4 2020, we were approached and we sold that business for €500 million, which was huge, and which was my first exit, so to say, and also my first encounter with M&A. And it was really in the middle of COVID that I had the possibility to sit back and reflect upon what I want to really do, because I was just working from hardware, software, insurance company to telecommunications, digital entertainment space. But I come from a family who owned business in the care side. So I always had a pull to go back to my roots and to do something in the sector. And from all the learnings and experience that I had about digital marketing, business expansion, using IT technology, I knew I could add value to the healthcare sector in particular, which needed a lot of attention. And that really started the foundation of Captron. I then joined forces with some of the great people. As you have seen the team, I've co-founded Captron with my co-founder, who is Mr. Robert Meyer. He's based in Germany. And Robert is very successful in a lot of different industries, very similar to what I was doing, basically. So we both have worked in various different industries, and we both understand that the basic winning principles of business come down to, a number of things. And if you understand that, you can be successful. It doesn't matter which industry you want to go to. And Robert also shared the same passion to really add value to healthcare sector. So we founded Captron. We got an amazing team in place, and our team, which is based in the UK, comes with 300 years of experience right now. Our chairman, who is Mr. Arvind Madan. He founded a company which currently has more than 22 million patients in the UK. It's one of the largest digital triage in the UK, so very successful. So we were able to get the best of the best people on the team of Captron, and that's where we are today. We are acquiring companies in the care side in the UK, and we are consolidating the sector. We are making it into a cohesive group, centralizing the operations, IT, marketing, really making the quality better, reducing the cost, and taking it to the next level.
Oh, man, it's excellent. No, it's fantastic summary. I appreciate you sharing that. What you said, a couple of things that I want to kind of dive into, right? It's what I noticed about you is you had kind of an innate ability on the business side, right? And people have asked me, how can you go from med tech to software to real estate? And it's, there's a famous guy, Zig Ziglar, is, well-known, author of a bunch of sales books, right? And he was interviewed years and years ago. I remember hearing him, and he was saying that as long as you understand the principles of what happens behind the business, the sales, the marketing, the finance, the execution, customer service, like lots of businesses are the same. It's just who's the customer and what's the widget that you're selling. You've clearly mastered that early on, which is really cool, getting to know you and your mindset and what you've been able to do. And when I saw your initial business and what you had put together, even though you weren't generating revenue yet, is you executed on several fundamentals that I hold close, and that I like to teach people and that are trying to do this, but you already had that innate ability. And what I saw was that you had a passion, you had the exit, you wanted to go to a different industry, but you also surround yourself with some pretty amazing people, right? I tell people, it's like, if you're going to do a pre-revenue company and you want to go raise money, you've got to have a team. You can be brilliant, but investors need to see how you're going to execute this thing, especially you coming from a digital side and now jumping into healthcare. And you did that. And I invite everybody that's listening to this, go check out Captron, and we'll put links in the bio at the bottom. But if you look at Captron, you'll see this amazing team, and Tarishi put this team together. And it's an amazing group of individuals to where it adds that weight, that experience, to where if an investor's looking at your deal, they're going to say, okay, great market, got the data, communicates correctly. And then they look at the team and they're like, whoa, like there clearly has to be a reason why all these awesome people are gathered into this one entity. And that was brilliant on what you did. So I definitely, that, right? But it's just, that is such a key fundamental, and you executed that even before we met. Like, usually we're helping clients, and you've been in the mastermind where we'll bring in advisors or bring in partners, try to help these entrepreneurs kind of build the walls around them, look and feel like an 800-pound gorilla, but you were already there. What got you into that mindset? Like, how did you, was it just a little bit more detail on how did you put that team together?
Yeah, it's impressive, because I think I really understood early on, especially also when I became the first brand ambassador for Dell India, and I was working with the top-notch people. I learned that it's all about the people. If you have the right people with you, you can achieve your goals. You can really achieve your dreams. It doesn't matter what age you are, what gender you have, nothing matters, because people have done it, and they're going to help you, and they will going to take you to places where you cannot go alone. So for me, it was always about working with the people who I like and I admire, and it's really creating that environment of A players, because then they try and bring the other A players with you, and it just takes your game to the next level much faster. You can literally pull time and money towards you faster if you have the right people with the right connections. So for me, that was the number one priority, because I don't compromise with the people I spend my time with, and therefore I just started finding the people. And I think when you really want to do something and you just tell them how passionate you are, what you want to do, why you want to do. So, for example, the reason why Captron is different in the UK than any other buyer who's buying the business is because our team consists of founders. Everybody on my team founded businesses, sold businesses, and scaled the businesses to the next level. So when we are approaching to the sellers see themselves in us. They see how we are different. They understand that we have been there. We have been on the seller side, and now we are on the buyer side. We understand it. So it's so much about the way you approach, about the ethics. And nobody has done that. It's difficult to find buyers in the market in such a crucial sector, which is healthcare. We are all growing old. We want to be taken care by companies who have values. And I think it was really that part which grabbed attention of the board of directors when I was approaching them. Everybody could relate to. Some of them have their parents right now in the care homes, and they are not happy with the kind of service they are getting, and they are not happy with the brands which are out there. And a lot of good brands, they're acquired by private equities. Usually, private equities are great, but in a sector like care, if a private equity acquires a business with nearly no experience in the sector, it's difficult to maintain the values. And I think that was really one of the unique thing that my board members saw, that she comes from a family, she understands the sector, she want to acquire companies, she want to build that brand which is highly profitable and we're going to do great. But on top of that, it's about the values that we stand for, which are very close to my heart, and we are not willing to compromise there. So it was really about telling them the dream, and then people just want to come and join forces with you, and they want to help you to get to where you want to go. And I think that is what I did. Honestly, it was as easy as just going to LinkedIn, reaching out to the people, not being afraid to write to them. Funny enough, I got everybody I wanted. And that was the fun side of it. I wrote to a lot of people, but the best of the best people always got back to me. And I was surprised. The people with the best profiles, where I was in a way internally self-sabotaging myself and was thinking, can I really get this person? And then I thought, okay, what will I lose if I just write? And I just wrote to the best people. And those were the ones who responded back to me within a couple of hours and wanted meetings, and they wanted to know and learn about it. So I understood that actually the people who are really doing great in the business, they want to add value. They want to add other people, particularly the young people who are starting out, and they want to change the world. They want to do their own part. They want to impact in their own capacity. And that was an eye opener for me, because I don't have to know anybody. Being in Germany, I went to UK, and it's a different industry, it's a different country, and still I could recruit a fantastic team all via LinkedIn. It was literally all just cold request on LinkedIn.
Wow, it's brilliant. Yeah, I mean, that takes an innate, obviously, a skill set. But you know, I'm looking at this from doing a lot of these different startups, right? And what I see in you is obviously you understand the digital marketing communications, right? You're applying the same philosophy and going, I need outreach. And I'm sure I would love to see what your original messages were, these people that got them to respond, but you only hit so many characters on LinkedIn, right? So it had to be on point, and they got back to you. And then you assemble this incredible team, and here you are. The other thing I'd like for you to elaborate on, which I think is another interesting milestone or pillar that you set up that is critical, that I see when you're doing something like this, where you're looking at wanting to raise a bunch of money because you want to go out and essentially do roll-ups. You want to do acquisitions of these smaller mom and pop entities and roll them into an enterprise, bring in your expertise on IT, bring in your team, and then obviously raise the revenues and build something spectacular. And I think what's also unique about your business, just to brag on you just a little bit, is that you want to take care of the seller, right? You're not just trying to go in, muscle your way in, take them and push them out. Is that you have like a legacy program that you're putting them into, to where they don't want to, leave this thing in shambles and just take a paycheck. They want to take care of their patients and take care of their names. And you have that built in. So you're really appealing to what these sellers want. But I think with what was interesting on what you did, it's kind of when I did my first commercial real estate project, was I had to show people exactly what was going to happen. It's how we kind of launched this fund. It's like, let me show you a bunch of deals that we're already involved in. We're kind of building the fund backwards. And you did something very similar, because you already went out and you found a couple deals, and you pre-packaged those, and those are in your pitch deck. So you can show an investor, hey, money comes in. This is a sample of what's to come, right? So what got you in that process? How did you come up with that? I'd love to know more about your direction in putting those pieces together.
Yeah. So to be honest, it was more about, I believed in what I was about to do. And I understood that proof of concept is really very important. And I also understood it's not really necessary for me to wait for the investors to come in, but to already have something substantial that they can see and they can hold on to and see, oh, wow, actually it works. So there are like 30,000 businesses in the UK where the sellers, more than half of the sellers are looking to retire. So I knew that I can go and I can talk to a lot of different sellers. And we were attracting the sellers who were really looking to preserve their legacies. So it was the right match for us. And when they found Captron, they heard us. They were like, we only want to sell our company to Captron. And literally the sellers have given the LOI and exclusivity for as long as, it takes to get the funding. And that kind of puts something substantial, even for us to just see something taking the form, a concrete form. And it was very crucial. In one way, when I was starting out, it was a bit scary, to be honest, to reach out to sellers and not really know where the funding is coming from. But it takes time. Everything takes time because it's all about relationship building. So you're reaching out to the sellers, you're either cold calling or you're emailing them, you're meeting them. It takes a couple of meetings to meet them and then to have that relationship in place, and then you can already do the due diligence, and at the same time we are raising the funding. So it helps both the sides, the investors, to see, oh, actually there are 3 deals, now there are 5 deals, there are 30,000 businesses, we can buy as many as we want. Even if we buy 100 businesses, it's a tiny pin in the market out of 30,000 businesses. So it helps everybody to understand the scale and the volume, the demand that we can play. And at the same time, it just helps us to gain a lot of momentum, which for me is very important. Momentum is absolutely the key.
No, I did a brilliant job. I mean, it's you obviously got skill on how you saw how to put together a deal and then take it to investors. So let's transition a little bit. So you and I met a couple months ago. Where were you at from a business standpoint, and what did you hear that made you want to connect and reach out?
Yeah, so I was in the US in a seminar, and I really trust this company. So it was my first visit to the US, and I attended the conference, the seminar for 3 days, and I told them what I'm doing and where I am. And by this time, I already had 3 deals lined up. So I said, I am looking to raise finance, and certainly I can do it by myself, but I've never done it before. So either you can put your time, start from scratch, or you can learn it from somebody who has done it before. And they recommended you, which was great. So I just reached out to you, and that's how. So your recommendation was coming from somebody who I deeply trust and respect. So I knew it has to be right. And especially when we had the very first call, Greg, that for me was immediately something like, I want to get into the mastermind because I want to learn from you. You are so fantastic. And also the fact that when we were talking, it was not just about the relationship of raising the financing and the funding, but it was also about mentoring, right? And I've seen that over the last couple of months. I don't have to reach out to you every time just about where I'm stuck with the funding, but sometimes I reach out to you about something that's not related to funding. So it was really about that relationship I saw that you bring to the table and what you provide to your clients. It was very clear in the very first call I had with you, and I knew that that's the right way to go, and it was the right decision. It's your course is amazing. You're fantastic. You have helped me learn something that I could have gone and searched, I don't know how many YouTube videos, and still I would have done it wrong 100%. So I think the help that you gave, particularly in putting the right set together and having a good strategy to connect to the investors, it's so powerful, and it has completely changed the game. And also it has given me a lot of confidence, to be honest.
Well, thank you very much. The feeling is definitely mutual. It's been a lot of fun working with you and seeing this evolution and how you strategize and move forward. And obviously working with your partner, Robert's been a lot of fun. What is working together? If you're to say, what are the top 3 things that you experienced or learned, the value add? What were those in working together over the last couple months?
Yeah, I think the very first thing that for me was a game changer is that you and the investors were equal. So when we are founders, we are raising the funding for the first time, the mindset, it's all about the mindset. And you really helped me to reach to a mindset where I can understand the deal dynamics and I can participate in those conversations from a very different and powerful place and win the deal with the right terms. And that is something that I think was a complete game changer for me. I would have approached if I was not in Mastermind, it would have been a very different side. The second thing that I really liked is I know that when I come to you with anything, I know and I trust you will gonna help and get the best out of it in my favor. And I think I cannot underestimate that, particularly as founders. Every day is so challenging. And there are very few people that we know, no matter we ask them about anything, they will gonna come back with something which is in our best interest. And you are one of that person for me as for Captron. And I think that is huge. I don't underestimate that. So I know that it's so amazing. It's such an amazing relationship that I can come to you, I can talk to you about where I'm stuck and what I can do, and you're gonna help me connect the right contacts, or you're going to help me connect with the right people, and we do it together. So it's a lot of confidence, and it's a lot of, in a way, it really gives me confidence to move forward, and I know that I'm on the right path. So I think understanding really about the deal dynamics, the confidence in having you by our side just completely changes the way we approach the meetings with investors.
I appreciate that. So let's speak a little bit about due diligence and term sheets, right? So I know
Yes.
we're still in the middle of due diligence. One term sheet kind of faded away, but tell me what you've seen in the last, several weeks in terms of, deals coming your way.
Yeah, I have to say I was very overwhelmed when I saw and we went to the market. It was really good to see the traction. It was good to see that people were coming forward and there were some really good term sheets on the way. At the moment, the DD phase is a bit tricky as it is, but I do have to say my experience with fundraising is somebody should really come to a person like you, because if I would have been all alone, it's heavy. It is still heavy because going through it all in DD, you don't know what to write, what is more, what is less, when you should go back to an investor, when it's getting really more, what the messaging should look like, and anything. And I can come to you and we would kind of work together. And so it is really like, especially during the DD and the term sheet, the time is so sensitive that the DD is happening on both the sides, from our side as well as on their side, and having that awareness that, oh, actually, even I have to do my DD. It's not just that if I'm raising fund, not the other side is doing the DD, but I need to do my own DD as well. And I have the power to choose or to just, get rid of some of the investors who don't align on the values. And all of this it's really tricky because our mind kind of tries and goes to, or what if there are no other investors? Or I want to have this. What if there is nobody interested in? So it's a lot happening mentally and emotionally that makes the journey tough. And I think it's not easy, but certainly it's very, I'm enjoying it. It's kind of an adventure. I'm in love with the sector because there is so much happening. We encountered some good investors, some bad investors, some of the investors that we are doing DD on. But personally, it has now, it is fun now to really reach people and to go through the process. And it doesn't scare me that much. In the beginning, I was really scared of it.
Yeah. Yeah. Now I've seen this evolution in you, by the way, which has been really cool. It's like, it's like an innate superpower. You're like, wait, I'm going to have fun with this. Like I'm pushing back because you know how to push back in your ground. And I think you said it earlier, a key point is going, and investors have to put their pants on the same way we all do. Right. So they're looking for quality deal flow. So to approach them,
Yeah.
at the same level is a key thing to try to keep in mind. Um,
Yeah.
Obviously there was an investment to work with us, right? This isn't, what we do isn't free. What would you say to someone that's kind of on the fence, that's maybe in a similar situation where they've got a big idea, they need outside capital to execute on that. They maybe talk to us. They're kind of thinking through things on, should I do this? Should I not do this? What would you say to them if they came to you and asked you?
Yeah, I would say absolutely go for it because honestly, you can do it yourself. It will gonna take 3 times longer. It will be difficult. And particularly when you start seeing the term sheets coming in, if you don't have support, there is a high probability that you're going to give the terms to the investors that they want. But it's not necessary that they are in your favor. But when we have, when we are a part of the mastermind, what we really did very well, if you know, is we were able to negotiate and we were able to put the risk on the side of the lender and the investor. And we were able to completely get rid of the risk. And that was a series of negotiation. There was a lot of brainstorming that happened in that process. And I think it's so much worth the investment because those terms and those favorable terms ultimately then get you a lot more in value going forward. So despite it looks like the investment is huge, and it was also I was also in the very beginning thinking, oh, should I do it or should I not do it? But then I understood if I don't do it, it will going to take me much longer. And it may be that I end up doing it, in a wrong way, and that will going to hurt a lot. And after spending some months with you, I can say it was so much worth it. It was way beyond what I invested. And is something that for me is like, wow, I have learned that skill and I can do it over and over, no matter how many businesses I start in the future. Now I have that skill with me and I don't have to invest again, but now I know it. Now I have the confidence, I know how to do it right. And I know I will not accept the bad terms and how to negotiate. And I think all of these things really matter. And you cannot put a price to that.
Thank you. I mean, you got me speechless now. So I don't know what else to add to that. That was pretty awesome. Well, one, it's been an absolute, pleasure working with you. Is there anything kind of wrapping this thing up now is there anything else you'd like to say or anything we can capture for you?
I would say, to be honest, particularly anybody who is thinking to raise fund, like I feel you. I have been there a couple of months ago because you're all alone. You have, there is a lot going on in the business. There is a lot going on the funding side. And if you really want to have power, if you really want to be fast, just go ahead and do that investment. It may feel a bit huge in the beginning, but as soon as you get into the mastermind, you will really realize it's worth it. Within the first few weeks, you'll see you're going to do a lot of progress and you will understand the value of it. And the moment you start seeing the term sheets coming in and the brainstorming that's happening in the mastermind, it's amazing. And honestly, I have to also add one thing which I forgot is the people in the mastermind, they are unique. Everybody is amazing. It's a very strong community. Honestly, a lot of times I'm joining in or Robert is joining in. Even we have nothing. We have no documents to discuss in that meeting, but we just come in because we learn so much. There are different businesses and we learn so much from the way their documents are, where they are, what they are doing, and everybody is helping and sharing. So it's kind of a nice meeting, so to say, twice a week. And I personally always was looking forward to it. It was not necessary for me to have something in that meeting, whether my document is there or something to discuss or not, but just being a part of that meeting was important for me during that day because it would give me a lot of positivity. It would help me to connect with people who are going through the same, and I'm going to come out of the meeting feeling a bit better. So I think it's not just about the process, but it's also about the community that you can come in and you can see others in different industries going through the same, and you learn a lot. So that there is really a great community behind, the mastermind that I should highlight.
Oh, well, thank you. No, I appreciate you pointing that out. That is something that we don't really talk about or promote in the stuff when we share people about the mastermind because, we want to keep it intimate, but we try to bring in the best of the best. I mean, there's a screening process to even get in. So when you're in there, we all learn from other people, right? That's the it's the best way to learn, see one, do one, teach one, and go through that whole process. But
Absolutely.
and I think a lot of people in the mastermind have enjoyed, you and Robert, and seeing your journey, and, your guys's, the due diligence you're doing, the different investors you're doing research on, the term sheets and negotiating all that stuff. So that's been obviously a huge value for everybody. So I definitely appreciate that. Well, gosh, I can't think of anything else. I really appreciate you making time on a Friday for me. I'm definitely available. You already know how to get a hold of me, right? So it's, with these
Yes.
different negotiations coming in, and with these different types of term sheets, and the next week is going to be another interesting week, right? But I'm excited to see this thing all as it's coming together pretty rapidly. And it's been honestly, it's been a lot of fun working with you, and your professionalism, the way you think through things. You're also, not only extremely accomplished, but you're extremely coachable. And I think that's a key element for folks, is when you have a lot of success, sometimes it can go to your head, and that's not you. Like, you're a sponge. You obviously surround yourself with really smart people, but you're very coachable. You execute flawlessly. Your work has been spot on. It's been great. So you've made my job actually pretty easy. So it's been a lot of fun. I hope we get to
Thank
do
you.
other things together. Let's get this one done, and
We
then
will. I love working with you, and I do see this relationship as a long-term relationship, to be honest. So I'm really excited to work with you as well in the future.
oh, absolutely. Look forward to that. Well, Tarishi, I really appreciate you making time, again on a Friday, and for me, and all the great content you provided. So, look, if I could do anything for you, you know how to get a hold of me, but thank you so much.
Yes, thank you. Thank you so much for your time, and I wish you a lovely day ahead and a relaxing weekend.
Thank you. I hope you enjoyed that case study. There's many more behind that one. It's a result of getting hands-on with our clients. This is not a cookie cutter, stamped out approach. This is a very intimate engagement. We get involved, we care, we bring in reinforcements, we do what we need to do to cross that chasm, to get over the hill, to get the capital, to get to that next level. So if that is of interest to you, if you're tired of wondering why your deal's not getting funded, and know that you've got something that can take off and go to that next level, and you're tired of being tired, reach out to us, see if we're a good fit, and we'll go from there.